Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 1. I asked for a statement win and a statement performance, and that is exactly what I got. Is that the best first half we have seen from City in a long time? I think it's well up there. I think it is well up there. We all know what has gone on this week. The world has been against us. Rival fans, the Premier League, journalists, the whole lot have been against us. It felt very much like the world was against us. The fans, the City fans, we banded together. We started to create a siege mentality online and in person today before the game. The bus welcoming from the fans, absolutely class. Pep in his press conference started to come out with that siege mentality as well, like we're willing to fight back against you. We're not going to sit back and allow you to kick us while we're down. The last piece of the jigsaw was, would the players show that reaction as well? Would the players show that fight for the badge, fight for the club as well? And they absolutely did. Now let's break it down. I've got a few talking points that I want to go over from that game. Overall, general consensus should be it was a great performance, but there is some good talking points, some good and some maybe not so good. But let me know your thoughts down below on absolutely everything I say and absolutely everything that went on in that game. I want to know what you think as well. The first one is, when the team sheet came out, we all noticed very quickly there was no obvious left back option on the pitch. None of our usual players that would play in left back, even though we don't actually have a left back, were actually going to be on the pitch. Bernardo Silva turned up on the grass at left back. This was going to be interesting. How was this going to play? A guy who doesn't want to be at the club anymore. Can you blame the guy? He's a midfielder, he's a winger, and he's now playing at left back. But he was actually excellent. Bernardo Silva was genuinely really good. He was pressing high, he was linking up play, he was dropping deep, he was inverting to make it almost a double pivot of himself and Rodri just in front of a back three of Walker, Dias and Laporte. And that brings me on to my next point. That back three of Walker, Dias and Laporte has to be used every game here on in both Premier League and Champions League if we want to have a hope of winning either competition. You could see the contrast in when you have Dias on the pitch versus when you have Dias off the pitch. The first and second half defensively were like two completely different teams, two different displays entirely. Dias just exerts that confidence into the rest of the team that allows us to play with that more risk and that more and a bit more enthusiasm to create chances. You can see his leadership, his ability to rally the troops, that big challenge he made, forgive me for forgetting who was on, but you know that big challenge I'm on about where he cleaned someone out. The Villa fans all screaming for a free kick, but it was actually a perfectly good, actually beautifully timed challenge from Ruben Dias. He goes off in the second half, Akanji comes on, and you can see that everybody looks a little bit less assured. Everyone's a little bit kind of like, oh, okay, right, Akanji's there. Nothing against the geezer, but he just doesn't have that Ruben Dias aura. You know, when Dias is on the pitch, everyone's like, yeah, the muscles are flexing, we're feeling good, we're going to attack, we feel confident with the lads at the back. Excuse me for the rhymes there, I'm no rapper, but listen, you know what I mean. Ruben Dias is that guy. Ruben Dias has to be on the pitch. He allows the two lads beside him, Laporte, a ball playing centre half, part of the left of the back three, absolutely class. People have been saying for weeks that City are too slow with chance creation, and most of the blame for some reason seems to fall on Jack Grealish and midfield players too, because they are the chief creators. But in chance creation and build up play, everything stems from your back four. Akanji and Ake at centre halves, they're too slow at those snappy passes into the midfielders who'll turn their man and go, give it to a winger, play it in behind to Haaland, whatever needs be. So if you get Akanji and Ake in the ball, they're much slower. The transition's a lot slower, whereas with Laporte, he's able to go bang. You even saw Ruben Dias making bursts through the middle of the pitch, linking up play. Like, Akanji and Ake won't do that. I love Ake, I think he's great defensively, so I want him to play at left back in the Emirates on Wednesday, but not centre half. I need those two players, those two pillars at centre half there for us on Wednesday, because they offer far more in terms of psychologically the comfort of having Dias there. You know he's a warrior, and Laporte the ball player, and then Walker can kind of do a bit of both as well. So listen, the defense absolutely spot on in the first half, which is, I think, was a massive contributor as to why we were able to play with that energy and that zip going forward. The next point I have is Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish, and kind of just our chief creators overall. I think in the first half they looked excellent. Kevin De Bruyne had a massive point to prove. It looked like he took that dropping against Tottenham personally. He really did take that to heart, and he said, I'm going to show you what you were missing out on. And he did. He looked like the old Kevin De Bruyne. We've been missing that for months, really. His stats would show you otherwise, but performance-wise, we've been missing that from De Bruyne for months. Quick passing, 1-2s, spinning players. He literally made a fool out of one of the Aston Villa players in the middle of the pitch, put a ball past him and ran and got it himself again. Absolutely excellent from De Bruyne, and that leads me right up to the main point, which is the overall attack and play, the tempo. For many of you who watched my preview or my sort of stream that I did with the 5 other City lads on City Extra the other night, when Lewis asked us what's the main thing we want to see from this Villa game, we all just kind of unanimously agreed tempo, more tempo. We know we have the quality players, we know we have the numbers, we know we have absolutely everything in our camp to go and win any title. But the tempo's not there. If we're not playing with the energy and everything we know we can, it's not going to work. But today we saw that energy, we saw that tempo. Very little or almost none in the first half of this. Give it to the wingers, they'll turn back, centre half, side to side. Give it to the wingers, turn it back, centre half, side to side. No, it was get to the midfield, turn your man, play a ball through. And the beautiful thing was, balls over the top for Haaland. We finally saw them properly today. I know he went off at halftime. It looked like he got a bit of a knock in that challenge he had with Emi Martinez, but I think it was just a precautionary thing. You know, you don't want to risk any further damage going into the Emirates on Wednesday because we need him. But the fact that we were playing those balls over the top, in behind, down the wings, we were getting in behind the Villa defence. We haven't got in behind defences consistently for so long. Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge, Tottenham, Everton, all these games where side to side you're trying to break teams down through the middle, when the reality is there is an option to play it over the top. Feed the robot, he'll cause problems. We fed him twice properly tonight and he caused serious problems. The first one where he picked up that injury where he supposedly had a foul given against him for a clash with Emi Martinez. I don't understand in what world that is a foul on the goalkeeper. We're living in a goalkeeper's world, we really are. They have a force field around them, you can't touch them. It seemed like a fair 50-50 to me. Both players came out with a knock. It is what it is, but it was deemed to be a foul. Either way, you could see it was causing the Villa centre half's problems. The second one, another ball over the top, granted a flick on from a Villa defender. Haaland puts on the afterburners. He's in behind, he's where he wants to be. That's his thriving zone, that is his habitat. That's where he wants to be, in behind defences with the ball at his feet, where he can look up and see what he wants to do. Does he want to shoot? Does he want to play a ball across like he did for Gundogan? That's what we need to do. That's how you get the best out of Haaland. We're saying play to his strengths. We played to his strengths in the first half, so that was absolutely great to see. It was a much more motivated, aggressive, angry performance from Manchester City. Even Jack Grealish looked great. He was unlucky not to get a goal. Great save from the Villa goalkeeper, to be fair to him, but he was unlucky not to get a stat tonight as well. Grealish, he won the penalty. So I've seen many saying it wasn't a penalty, and I can see why maybe people are saying it's not a penalty. You win some of them, you lose some of them. It's smart play from Grealish. If you're a defender and you allow the winger to cut across you in the box, you make any contact at all, you're running a serious risk of giving away a penalty. So Jack was going to do that every single time without fail, and he came out on top in that situation. It was just an overall great performance. Like I said, so much more enthusiasm and directness. None of this conservative football where you're passing it around waiting for an opportunity to present itself. We went and made opportunities, and I've already seen people on the timeline, rival fans, saying you're playing against Aston Villa at home, why do you care so much? I don't care who it's against. I don't care if it's against Arsenal's under 15s again. It's the performance that mattered the most to me. How did our players look? How did we play the game? How did we approach it? We approached it with aggression and determination, and that's all I wanted to see from today. When I said I wanted a statement performance, I wanted us to show that we can still be that City of old. We still have that DNA of a penetrating, punishing team, and that's exactly what we did today, and I'm really happy with that. Listen, we're going to go live tonight on this channel at 10:30. Myself, Joe, and Dara will go into more depth than what we saw today. You guys can come into the chat and give us your thoughts on absolutely everything too. We'll probably talk a little bit about the Arsenal game on Wednesday. Do leave a like please on this video, it massively helps, and subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 6k. We'd love to hit that as soon as possible. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Come to the stream tonight if you can. Good night and God bless.
Listen to your heart, tell me who you wanna be. We can always start to believe. Listen to your heart, tell me that you understand.